Alright, hello everybody. Of course my webcam is not on. Hold up 1 second. There we go, yes. Cool, alright. Hey, welcome. Start up in a month. Month 2, day 18. Right, so what are we doing today? What we are doing today is implementing the pick story saving and sharing feature. So, man, is this all goofed up? One of the things permanently on my to-do list is figure out how to get autofocus to work on that camera, but I have not yet, and it will be something we figure out later. And I've got a nice color scheme I can use. So many things to prepare and to remember to prepare. Okay, cool. So, what are we doing today? We are implementing a pick story saving and sharing feature. So, yesterday we had a huge breakthrough in terms of like closing the circle on the whole, the main feature of the application, basically, which is like selecting photos to upload, uploading those photos, and adding them to a story. So, I've had like pieces of that for a long time. So I think the first thing we did was like implemented the photo uploading feature. It was a trip in and of itself because I've never really done like file uploading on a web server before. That was the first time I was doing it, and definitely the first time I was doing it in Clojure. So we've had the piece where you could upload a photo for a while. We've had the piece where you could like render a photo for a while on the front end of the app, but that was only ever like a dummy photo, right? Like we had some kind of toy URLs that we were using for placeholder content, but you can never really like kind of go through the whole cycle, like through the front end UI of like uploading a photo, getting it onto the server, getting it associated with your username on the server, getting it to a place where you could like view the things you had uploaded in like a photo browser, selecting those photos and adding them to a template block at the correct place. So we closed the circle on that yesterday, and that was really cool. So yeah, it felt really good to finally implement that because hey, that's the point of what we're building, right? So anyway, what we're going to do today is work on kind of the next big piece of this, which is not only like adding content to a page, which we pretty much have on lock already, and now we're going to work on like saving those. So that's going to be not only good for actually like saving something for like future reference, like say you're in the middle of something and you want to like take a break or work on it later, you can save it in that way. But the other thing you can do is you can save it and then make it like publicly available under URL, so you can send it to friends and family and whoever else wants to see it. So yep, another major feature that we have not done any work on really, but we've got the pieces of it there basically. We can have like the story in memory in the browser, but we can't save it yet. But basically the process for that is going to be taking the application state and just like writing it to JSON in the database for the app, and then theoretically it's just as easy as like requesting that kind of state seed from the database, loading it into the app, and that'll make it possible to edit for the story builder page or to view in the instance where you have a shareable URL that will take that state seed and just generate the HTML for you. So that's really cool, and that's what we're going to do. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to like get it into the database in the story, or get the story into the database in some fashion. And some reach goals would be to reload that saved story in the editor, and also kind of implement the functionality where you can have a public URL that you can access it from. So I think I might be able to get like one of those two things done. I'm not sure I could get both things done in the time we have allotted for ourselves today, but we'll see how much, if at all, I get those last 2 points done. So anyway, today's mantra is imperfect is okay, even desirable. So the deeper I get into this, and really the deeper you get into any app, the complexity of what you're doing just kind of starts to rear its head and show up. And yeah, it's like one of those things which is like really easy to assume just looking at a web page, like, oh, it's there, it just works. If you get an error, the error shows up, and the error shows up in a way that makes sense and enables you to like know how to fix it. For example, that's a lot of work. There's a lot of stuff that goes into that, or any of those feedback mechanisms or edge cases for like say someone saved a story, but they didn't give it a title. So you have to like, block the story from being saved in the database, but also, give them an error message to let them know that, they need to give a story a title before they can save it. All this stuff is just like, it's kind of like the 80-20 rule, if you guys are familiar with that. There's a Wikipedia page for this. The Pareto Principle. Right. So, generally speaking, it says roughly 80% of the consequences come from 20% of the causes. I am, huh? Yep. Oh man, working in software, we're all like intimately familiar with how this stuff works. Or any creative field in general, anyway. But I think in software, especially, since there's just so much that can go wrong at any given juncture. But anyway, this is definitely like the 20% thing I'm talking about. All these edge cases. Hello, Rough Way Doe. Oh yeah, you two guys were. I think it was your first stream yesterday. I haven't seen you in the chat. So anyway, welcome back, guys. Glad to see you. So anyway, things like edge cases and error handling, and I want to call them dumb user mistakes, but dumb user mistakes, that comes from the 20% of the work, and that's where you can spend 80% of your time. Yeah, anyway, that's all to say that if I was trying to make this thing like absolutely perfect on the first go, I'd be working on it forever. So I've got a personality which makes that like kind of difficult to do. If I'm being honest, I'd really like to kind of have my T's crossed and my I's dotted. So trying to remind myself that this doesn't have to be perfect. It won't be perfect. I don't have time for perfect, and that's a good place to be because if I'm gonna get anything done, I need to be cool with putting imperfect things into this world, and that's something you got to practice. So yeah. Anyway, so that's the mantra. That's the plan, and now let's get to the warm up. So do I have this open right now? I've got the code open, but I don't have the reference GIF. Right, so I think we're going to be done with this today, but basically in the first half hour of these streams, I like to do a warm-up activity where, sometimes it's a coding challenge. This time I'm deciding that I want to make an SVG version of this like bouncing ball GIF. So yeah, we're going to spend like 30 minutes working on that, and then we'll get into the code itself. So let me get this over here. We've already got this running. So anyway, let's start the timer, shall we? Don't have time for perfect. Nope, we do not. We might have time for perfect later if we get like users and people paying money for this thing, but not right now. Not right now. Alright, 30 minutes on the clock. Nice sound effect. And we go. Okay, so alright, we got this to a place yesterday where we can have the ball and bounce it. Let's just go back to this reference. Yeah, so we've got like, I think we got most of that, because if you look at the GIF, and this might not come across all that well in the stream, but it kind of like slows down at the top and like speeds up at the bottom, so I think we've got most of that. And earlier today I was taking a look at this and trying to set ball direction up. Yeah, what was this? I was trying to like speed this up. So what this is basically doing is taking the ball position, which is like a y coordinate on our SVG grid here, and it's adding the velocity to that position. So that's our y-axis. I guess I can just show you, can't I? Add states. Functions, states, Yeah, so if we look at like at ball position, at this very moment it's at 0.4. If I did that later, that would be like 0.58. So y numbers get bigger as you go down, and that second number is the current y position. So earlier, I was saying like, I don't want to just like add the velocity to this at the particular like point in the animation we're at. What I want to do is I want to add that velocity, have that velocity be like a constant number, and then like multiply it by 2 maybe. So multiply that by 2. But when that happens, oh wait, hold on. Yeah, I think that's okay. I think I was seeing things where like, I multiply it by kind of a funny number. Oh my god. Okay, multiply by 1. Let's get back into normal mode here. Whoa, 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 what's going on? That's not doing what I thought it should do. Why is it getting faster every time? Oh no! Okay. So there's something crazy going on there. This will be good practice. State 0. State 1 velocity. Yeah, I don't quite know what was going on there, but maybe if I just say, like, multiply these by 2, so 2, 4, and 6, and then 2, 4, and 6. Maybe that'll give me what I want, basically. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so now it's going faster. I can also do something fun here where it's like, you can do like def ball velocity ref down faster, which will be this will be good practice for like mapping over maps. So let's just play around with this a little bit here. We can say like map velocity ref. Yes, there's like the keys and the values. And so what I want to do is I want to take each value and multiply it by 2. So if I say like function key value, what I want to return is the key and value multiplied by 2. Right away I get all kinds of not a numbers. Alright, so let's get back to identity. What was I actually getting? Function, oh, here we go. Yeah, so it was function key value. We can say like let's key be kb at index 0, let value be kv at index 1, wrap that. Alright, I think that should give me what I want now. No. Okay, so I'm going to get a key value each time. So say it's like 25 and 1, kv0 is 25, kv1 is 1. Okay, so that's correct. So what's the problem here? We got the function. We got passing this in the wrong place. Okay, so I think that's right. Cool. Yep, that's what we got. All right. So return the key as is, multiply the value by 2, but I don't know how to like get that back into a map. Oh, do I call seek on it? So we're kind of going from like one data type to another. We're going from like key value pairs to tuples of keys and values. So I need to get that back into a map somehow. Right. So let's just look here real quick. Collections, primitives. Relations. Vowels, keys. Yeah. Another faster way to do this would be to Google it onto map over a map and get a map back. Closure. Maybe map invert. Closure set. Get a map back from mapping closure. Maybe the map docs will have something to say about this. Hey, doing fine, Mihai. Lord Mihai. Welcome back. Glad to see you again. Hope you're well. What's the deal with this? Yeah, extract a keyword from a collection of objects. That's cool. Structuring, collection of functions, collection of maps. Pmap, map cats, amap, keep juxt reduce, map v. Not really what we want. I think there's probably a more idiomatic way to do this. But what we can also do is say map over that and then map over what we get back. And just hating Linux server, can't update it on my work normally. Yeah, nah, Linux servers are, that's tough stuff, man. I struggle with that as well sometimes. Map, maybe into, closure core, into, oh, maybe like apply into. Yeah, let's get this, let's copy it. Can we say like into a map, go those things. 100 is not iSeekable. Maybe apply into. No. Maybe if this was not a vector, or if it was not a list, but it was a vector. Assoc. Wrong number of args passed to assoc. Alright, if it's not into, then it's assoc. What's the problem here? 2 args, but expects 3 or more. Not association. Map key value. Association to this map, the key and the value. Alright, so I could apply. Map apply assoc. Because I could say like assoc into the object 25 and 2. right? That'll give me an object with 25 and 2, but I need to do that sequentially for like each one of these. Let's see. Alright, let's make this simpler with just 2 vectors. Okay, so we want to map over these 2 vectors the function we want to call. KV. Alright, missing brace. And we get 2 and 4. Man, there must be a more idiomatic way. Turn tuples of keys values into map closure. Convert an array of tuples into a hash map. Oh, is it as easy as that? Into... Right. Yeah. Okay, that's it. No, it's not. Is it? I don't know what the commas are. The commas separate the keys and values. Yeah. Okay, so that's it. Yeah. So yeah, now if we say into an object, we should get what we want. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that's it. That's better than reduce. Yeah. I don't know if I was writing JavaScript, I definitely do something with reduce, but yeah, I mean, this closure standard library stuff is pretty crazy, isn't it? Right, so if I wanted to create a version of these kind of velocity maps that was like the same thing but faster, I would define double velocities. It takes a velocity map. Alright. And now I could have a version of these which is a faster version. So that's going to be double velocities on what's it called? Ball velocity rough down. Okay, so we've got down faster and we've got up faster. So now we just need to call this on the right one. Ball velocity reference up. Now we can just swap these out as we like. Okay, down faster and up faster. I think we're good. So we should see it going twice as fast, and we do. Cool. All right. So I'll keep that for when we're like actually trying to recreate the animation for real, but I think I'll just use this for like right now. Okay. Cool. So I think we got basically what we want, and now I want to like squish that ball at the bottom. Right, so that becomes something where yeah, okay. So we got like 2 parts of this. We have the process of like making the SVG shape itself, and we also have the process of CX. I'm just gonna freeze this in place. CY0. Cool. Okay, so now we got a ball, and then we need to squish it. So, DD form shape SVG. Shape morphing. That's cool. Shapes need to have the same number of points. Morph a star to a check. Yeah, so that's like kind of what I wanted. Yeah, that's part of what I want. How do SVG shapes, basic shapes. So the SVG spec comes with things like rectangle, circle, ellipse. Ellipse is what we want. Okay, so ellipse has a center coordinate, it has a radius. It has a radius in the x direction and the y direction. And stroke width. You could transform with CSS, yeah. Yeah, I've got an idea for how to do this though. I'm just gonna like kind of show and hide different elements. HTML2 hiccup. Love this site. Okay. Yeah, I think we're gonna have like the same SVG elements on the screen at the same time, which is like not, you know, if we're talking about like performance or something, it's not exactly the best way to do it. Stroke width. Yeah, let's see if we can get that on the screen. Yep, okay, cool, there we go. So, gonna say CX, yeah, but we call it 0 and 20. We'll make it the same radius. Left and right, but we'll make it like a little bit squished up and down. And we'll have the same fill, but no stroke. Fill blue. All right. Yeah, I think I want to like shorter, but also like outwards, right? 15. Too much. Maybe like a 12. Yeah, that's good. Okay. You know, actually the reference GIF has like a line around it too, so let's do that while we're here. Stroke black, stroke width, we'll call it like 2. Stroke, stork, stroke black. Too much. Stroke width 1. There we go. Alright, so yeah, I can hook these both up to our states. But I need this. Okay, CXCY, those will be hooked up to our states. Alright, so now they're on top. Oh my god. Cool, so now it's like one on top of the other, and I think I'm gonna look at like what the learn some SVG stuff here. Neat. Yeah, man, SVG's a gas. I did a lot of SVG stuff in my previous job, and I quite enjoyed it. We could say like render circle, defen, render squishy circle. Let's give it a fun name because we're just doing a fun project here. Alright, we'll wrap these up into their own components just to kind of tidy things up here, and then we're going to give them some rendering logic. Okay. So we're going to say like when a certain condition is met, when ball position 1 is less than 95, we'll say. Less than 95, render that thing. And then we'll say when ball position 1. Oh, need to dereference, of course. So if you'll remember, this is the y coordinate, which is currently 22. And then the program ran for a little while, so it's 4 now. But anyway, I'm saying when it's less than 95, we're going to get the circle. When it's greater than 95, we're going to get the ellipse. Oh. Okay. So we almost got what we want. Okay, well, it's less than 95. I've got this backwards. We're getting the circle at the very end, but we should have that ellipse. Yeah, you can almost see that. You guys might not be able to see that. That'll be right. I have velocities. Works a little bit. I think it would work better if it was slower. Divide by 2. Slower. Now we can say have velocities. Okay, so now if I say, geez, where'd that go? Dash faster. Oh, ref down. Okay, so let's slow this down. Slower. Yeah, so that's a little better. I wonder if I could make it like last just a little longer, like 85, greater than 85, less than 85. Yeah, that's it. They're kind of like squishes first, right? Like it like squishes before it hits the bottom of the ground. Yeah, so like I want to like it hits the ground, it squishes, and then it stays squished for like a little while before it hits the top. How would I do that? Am I still working on the same things yesterday? Yes. Yeah, we're gonna get into that in approximately 5 minutes. Oh goodness. I wonder if I could do this in 5 minutes. Yeah, so I've got logic which will like take this thing like when it's in a range. Okay, like 0. And down to like 100. So yeah, I've got something which will render that like this, right? Like we're saying like, you know, between here we got the ellipse, between here we got the circle. So how would I say like circle until we get down and then ellipse on the way back up? Oh, that'd be ball direction. Yeah, because I've got a ball direction variable I'm working with too. Okay, so when the ball direction is down, I should have the circle. Okay, when ball direction is equal to down, give me the circle. Okay, when it's less than 85. Okay, when it's both. Oh. Ah, jeez. Goof my parens. At equals at ball direction up. Oh. Jeez. What have I done? Okay. Alright, so I wrote something where, like, it squishes when it gets to the bottom, but then, like, it disappears in the middle, right? Okay. So when the ball direction equals down. Okay, now I need, like, an or. So either the ball direction is up, or the ball position y coordinate is greater than 85. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, it squishes when it gets to the bottom, and then it changes back to the circle. Nice. Okay. But you can't see it when it's going fast. Slower. What does it look like at normal speed? Yeah, that's, well... a little bit of flashing. Maybe I'm drawing too many frames, because I'm drawing this like very smoothly on the way down, but if you look here, we've only got like, geez, I'm going to call that like maybe 5 frames of animation. Like this is not like a smooth transition all the way down. It's like every 5th frame you're seeing it. So maybe if I did something like that, that's going to be in our progress. I wonder, what's progress right now? Progress, yeah, well, I'm gonna call it good. We're gonna stick with our mantra and say it's good enough. Ball velocity down slower, up slower. Yeah, nice. That's cool. All right. Very good, very good. Yeah, we got the thing, man. We got a bouncing ball that deforms on the way up when it hits the ground, and yeah, it's got like different velocity. So cool. This language is Clojure. Let me see. What's a good intro to Clojure? I'm always sending people to the docs, but I think the docs are like, what is Clojure? Clojure, what's so great about it? The case for Clojure. What's the business value of Clojure? Intro to Clojure. Is it a language for hipsters? Clojure in a nutshell. Yeah, this lady looks like fun. I'll send you this video. Clojure script. Yeah. Okay, so there's Clojure, which is on the back end. Clojure script is what I was writing on the front end. I'll put these in the show notes for later. What is Clojure? Yeah, so there's that. And here's a wiki, which is probably going to have a whole bunch of information, which is super high level history development process. Yeah, there might be some useful information in there too. Alright, cool. So let's get back to Pick Story, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, let me shut down this repl here, so I'm not totally like eating up all my RAM. Okay, close tabs. Quit activity monitor, which itself takes up a lot of RAM. Close the desktops. Alright, back here. So, I think I'm running, right? Yeah. And then, like, login works. Nope, changed that route yesterday. Cool, alright. So, back here. Yeah, so the feature we're working on today is pick story saving and sharing. So, yeah, I think a lot of you guys are like new to the stream, so you may not have actually seen what this thing's about. Implementing pick story saving feature. Right, so let's get some of that stuff back in the UI, and then let's take a little walkthrough here. Template selector, text input, sure. Style edits. Photo uploader. Yeah, don't need photo. Well, we do need photo selector. Yeah. It's gotta be a huge mess. We'll see what it looks like. Alright, toggle content editing. Maybe I need to restart the server. No, it's all running, but in a different process than the one I have open at the moment. So, do you have an idea yet for your next startup? Yeah, I've got a big Trello board with a bunch of ideas, and actually something I've been thinking about for a while would be to take my favorite ideas for startups and put them in like a list or something with a little, like, the title of the startup and then the abstract for it. And then, like, I could put that up online, like, let people, like, check them out and, like, vote for ideas. So I think it'd kind of be a cool way to, like, not only, make more public, like, what I'm doing, which is, like, great for promotional purposes, but I could also use that to, kind of verify, like, okay, I find these things personally interesting, but what do other people find interesting, which is, like, a really good thing from, like, a business point of view, right? Like, I might have some things which I think are really cool, but, it's other people who are going to be paying for it eventually, so, having that extra input as to what people find interesting could be good for my own decision-making process. So, yeah, I got like a few ideas. I think I'm gonna pick the next idea next week and start on that first week of April. So we'll see what it ends up being, but I'm kicking around some stuff. I find this interesting, but it's interesting enough to enough people to make this profitable. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah, it's a careful balance. Sudo. I'll just mercilessly kill all these. Oop. Java processes that are running but I can't control. Anything else? Nope. Okay, cool. Right. So let's start the backend server. And let's start the front end server. Always forgetting that command. Alright. Socket connect failed. Server process dead. Alright, there should be nothing there. Okay, that's good. Starting up. Yeah, tricky balance between, like, having a cool idea and having a cool idea that, like, someone will pay for. I actually write about in this blog post, while we're waiting for all the stuff to kick off, I can kind of share my thinking on that. Yeah, here we go. So if you guys care to have a read, there's my thoughts on, yeah, not only that thing where, like, you have to have an interesting idea, but you also have to, like, take a bunch of shots at, like, making interesting ideas. Because Because if you have like, proverbially more fishing lines in the water, then, you can build a bunch of stuff, and then, if you eventually like land on something that sticks, then that's great. Which is like kind of the whole reason I'm doing this in these like month-long sprints. So it allows me to like have a bunch of different ideas, test a bunch of different things, and then yeah, eventually hopefully find one that works. Okay. Upload picture. I don't need the upload UI to demonstrate this. Okay. Uploader goes away. Yeah, cool. Alright, few uploaded photos. Nah, you're broken. That's okay. Template selector. Render templates, that was it. Cool, okay. So this is all kind of built on the concept of like layout templates. So, right, we've got layout blocks. We can add a new layout block. Actually, I better get rid of this one. All right, add new layout block. My favorite one's been window pane. Okay, so we can add text like, good God, I need to fix all of these CSS problems soon. Alright, so you can add text or you can add images. So yesterday I took a photo of the chat. That was kind of fun. Right. So there's content editing, there's images, then there's also style editing. So if we edit the style here, we'll have a whole bunch of crazy stuff that's all overlapping, but essentially what I've done here is I have added a whole bunch of like Tailwind utility classes to this thing. So yeah, this gives you options for like just really easily like changing the padding in an element. So in there I added like padding there. And then if I want to add the style of here to have like a padding top of like 10 pixels or something, I can move that down really easily. Let's see. Oh, there's a kind of a fun one. Yeah, background colors. So, background gradients. Okay, so this will be a gradient that goes from the bottom left to the top right. It'll start at red 300 and it'll go to blue 400, shall we say. And the middle color will be transparent for the time being. So anyway, that's the basic functionality here. It looks kind of crazy, doesn't it? Oh no, that's just that's the rest of the screenshot. So anyway, that's kind of like what we're making here. And yeah, what we're going to do right now is we're going to take what we've already got, which is the ability to like create a story, add content, and edit it, but now we want to save it. I think I got a new chat. Releasing within a month forced me to keep my ADC as small so they don't become too big to finish. Yeah. Not that idea that's too big is sunk many a creative endeavor, including many of my own, so yeah, I'm trying to kind of keep things small so they can not only be like kind of fun to work on, not overwhelming, and something I can actually finish. So that's going to be a good place to end up. Right, anyway, so yeah, we can kind of go through the whole process of like creating these things, but I would like to save them, not only to access them later, to like edit or update, but also to like share with a public URL. So if we take a look at the thing that I am Pig story pitch. The thing that I am seeking to emulate and hopefully improve upon. When do I think this app will be ready for release? Hopefully the end of next week. It's supposed to be ready at the end of February, but I bit off more than I could chew, so here I am at the end of March still working on this. But I'm fairly confident I can get this done by the end of the month and release it at the end of March. So next Friday, God willing. Anyway, if you look at this, you not only get UI to like edit these stories in Google Photos, but you also get this like shareable link. So if I wanted to like send this to someone else, copy link location, I would just like email them that URL or something, and then they could see what the thing was. So yep, essentially we're building something that can make it possible to access these after the fact, to edit if you need to, but also to share them publicly. So let's get started on that. And I already did a little work on it this morning. So let's try to remember where I'm at. Okay. So I've got like a text input with a label, an error state, and a place to enter the title of the story. Okay. So I got a label, a placeholder, as error, false, error message. Okay. So we can change the story name. All right. Test story. Currently the value of test story is test story. Okay, cool. So we've got everything we need to specify a name, and now we need this button to do the thing. All right. So we got a click handler which says, hey, when you click it, boink, 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 boink. All right. And I might have been writing okay, upload image, save story. Okay, I also wrote the rudiments of a handler. And so what this is going to do is it's going to save this atom variable called atom blocks, which has like all the configuration information for what these stories actually are, and it's going to send it to the backend at that URL. So let's see, connect to the backend REPL, and we'll see what's going on. Do we have a route for this? We don't. Okay. So the first thing to do is add a routes to the backend server router. Just double checking, we didn't do this already. Okay. So we're going to say post to the route save story. That handler is going to be save story. All right. So this doesn't exist yet. Let's make it here in our handlers file, def in the save story. I'll take a request. For now, it will just pretty print it. Alright, add that to handlers. We will require it in our core file. We will load all that into the REPL. And yeah, you know what? I want to like do this thing where I'm like testing the API directly in the API itself more. So let's say like app request method post. URI save story body. I will be JSON soon. Okay, so do we write what we need to write to receive a post on that URL? We did not. Wait, did we? Photo list. URI save story. Okay, we just didn't have it loaded into the REPL just yet. All right, so we can send that request object, we can send that body, and now we will will send the real thing from the real front end. Twitch didn't show my raid. Oh no. Well, I'm glad you're here anyway, Kevin. Thanks for coming along. I've never actually raided someone. I don't know what that functionality actually does. That's a cool idea. It's kind of taking your viewers and saying like, hey, everybody, we're heading over here now. Hope you had a nice stream today, by the way. I find it very impressive that you're able to hold down a full-time job and also stream, because, man, this is a lot of work, bro. It's fun work, but, you know, it's taxing in its own way, isn't it? /raid username when you enter stream. Oh, okay, cool. Nice. Body. Byte input stream. Okay. Bytes input stream. So, do I have to encode JSON on the front end? Because right now I'm just sending the straight vector with all the stuff. Post JSON. You know, I should go looking at this Ajax library first. Ajax core closure scripts. Yep, okay. JSON. There are 4 formats currently supported for communicating with the server: transit, JSON, text, and raw. Formats specifies the format for the body of the request. Also sets the appropriate content type header. Cool. Handling responses on the server. For random JSON requests, use the ring JSON middleware. This populates the data in the body tag. JSON hijacking. Never heard of that before. You've been hacked. JSON hijacking is an attack in some ways similar to cross-site request forgery. In the case of JSON hacking, the attacker aims to intercept JSON data sent to the web application from the web server. Yeah, something to remember for later. I'm not going to worry about that right now. Okay. Formats. I need to specify formats. Save story. Formats. I just sent it in a JSON key. All right. Save story. Okay, we sent that from the front end via our Ajax library, and on the back end we saw the same thing. I think. Save story. Yeah, same thing. Just a byte input stream. So maybe I don't have my JSON middleware. Wrap JSON response. Yeah, okay, so I need to add that JSON, ring JSON middleware. Yeah, interesting, I didn't have that already. Ring JSON. Oh, I do. Okay, I have it, I'm just not using it. Okay. Ring middleware JSON, wrap JSON response, wrap JSON body. Okay. Wrap JSON body around the handler. Okay. Theoretically, that's what we need to see see it, but we're still getting that byte stream. Save story. It's done a different part. This thing, route params, headers. Ring JSON, how do I use you? Wrap JSON response will convert any response within a collection as a body, with a collection as a body, into JSON. Wrap JSON body middleware will, yep, that's what I'm using. Parse the body of any request with a JSON content type into a closure data structure and assign it to the body key. Wrap JSON body. Keywords true. I don't need that explicitly, but certainly couldn't hurt to have. Save story. Back here, still a byte stream. I'm gonna do this like temp-rec trick for our save story handler too, so I can actually get into the REPL and like start playing around with that. Okay, save story, temp-rec. Wrap. Now we need, right? Now we need. Let's see, do you currently have an occupation that involves coding? I used to. Yeah, so I was working for a while for a financial services company, and then I did that for a couple years, and then I switched from that last August to a startup, an all-remote startup, and yeah, it just didn't end up like working out for a variety of reasons, and I actually got let go from that position. So yeah, that was kind of like the kick in the pants that I needed to like actually like set off on this like startup in a month's journey. So up until that point, the plan had kind of been like, you know, have a full-time job, and then for, you know, maybe like an hour a day or something, and a couple hours on the weekend, you know, work on these startup ideas in the same context where it was like, you know, like have a small idea, do it in a month, you know, iteratively release like on a month-to-month basis, and, you know, see what happens. But yeah, I had a bunch of savings from the financial services job, which are kind of like funding this venture, so I'm very fortunate in that regard. And yeah, I just kind of figured to say like, you know, screw it. You know, let's give this a shot and, you know, commit fully to this as opposed to doing something part-time. And yeah, it's been working out well so far. It's kind of a freaky thing to do because, you know, I don't have any income coming in, and who knows if any of these are going to pan out. But yeah, you know, I figured I'm going to take my shot if I have one, and, you know, see if I can kind of bootstrap myself into an independent income. So yeah, anyway, I did have a coding job, several coding jobs before this, but yeah, this is all I'm doing all day right now. Well, if it pans out big, yeah, man, I hope it pans out big. I'd like it to. Yeah, but time will tell, right? Wrap JSON params. Man, I think I'm doing all the right stuff. Maybe I'm sending JSON that this middleware can't understand, though. So if I say like app, body, let's make you, I can never write JSON by hand. JSON example, small. Ugh, geez. Okay, here we go. Menu, let's just take these. Closing brace, closing brace. And I think it all needs to be wrapped in a string. Well, let's try that. Escaped JSON, maybe. Will this work? Invalid token menu. Yeah, I think I need to escape all this stuff. Alright. Pardon me while I do this the dumb way. Alright. So now we have a JSON object wrapped in strings. But I still think that's not really right, yeah? Because, like, I can send a string, like, you know, you can send a string in the body, but, like, what I'd like is, you know, the JSON object. Yep, you only live once. Another lesson I'm trying to get into my head is, like, you know, there's not as much risk out there as your mind would have you believe. Yeah, it's kind of a freaky thing to, you know, do something that could possibly fail, but, you know, you can feel better for having tried. If you can do so in a responsible way and just kind of put yourself out there, then, you know, good things can happen. Response formats. There's also the idea, too, that you're not, well, how is this phrased? Success might not be your end goal, or you might not be working towards success. What was that video? This is one of my favorites. And feel productive. Yeah, this guy's great. I learned a ton of stuff from this guy early on in my career. He's unfortunately not making videos anymore, but yeah, he's got a lot of good stuff out there about functional programming, specifically from a JavaScript perspective. But you know, if you speak or you know code in any other language, you can appreciate it. Fun function. It's okay to not feel productive. Oh yes, I'm on YouTube as well. Yeah, I stream on Twitch, but then I got this like YouTube account which I'm like also streaming on, and so with Twitch you can't save your like back catalog of videos for very long, but on YouTube you can stream and it's just on YouTube forever. So yeah, if you ever want to like go check out like a previous episode, you can do that on the YouTube channel. Oh, he has a video on Clojure? Damn, I'm gonna have to check that out. Man, I didn't know he was into Clojure. I knew he was into Ramda. Man. This is this like started me on my path to actually, you know, turning into a Clojure programmer. But yeah, there's a bunch of fun function videos on this library Ramda, which is like basically a lot of the Clojure standard library plus like some things that aren't in the Clojure standard library too. So if you're a JavaScript programmer and you like the look of like what I'm doing here, just in terms of like the programming style and, you know, immutability, side-free, function effects, you should check out this library because it's got a lot of the same ideas and it enables you to program in much the same way that you do in Clojure. So that was my introduction via fun function. And yeah, a lot of the stuff I learned from learning Ramda, I can take directly over to the stuff I'm doing in Clojure and ClojureScript. Yeah. I will highly recommend it. You'll be very comfortable in Ramda if you know Clojure. So yeah, you should check that out. Man, I feel like I'm not. I feel like I've got all the stuff I need, but I'm not sending the right thing. Body. Wrap this in quotes. Is it JSON yet? Okay, so there is something that I think is a valid JSON string wrapped in quotes. So what do we see on the back end when we send that? A byte stream? How to post JSON Clojure. Format JSON, params data. Yeah, so they send it in the params. And this is a normal Clojure map. JSON is the data format. Default is transit. Yeah, let's try sending it in params. Okay, so body, I can just keep that, that's okay. Params. Alright, there's that function. There's that function call. Params. What? Temporec, what are you? Man, really? Okay, my next idea is that I'm sending an array when really I need to wrap this in an object. I can say like value to start. Rename that at the appropriate time. Okay, Temporec, what are you now? Oh, here we go. Yep, here we go. Oh, but it's also in the body. I sent it in the params, but it appears in the body. Okay, whatever. Okay, we got it. We got it now. I'm okay with that. I don't know why it's in the body, but it's okay that it is. Cool. So yeah, what I want to send here is not only the block, the blocks themselves, the template blocks, but I want to send the title too. So let's do that. Okay, params, layout config, layout config, yeah, we can go with that. Story blocks, yeah, let's call it story blocks. Let's call it blocks, okay. Name is going to be @Adam story, jeez. So many, save, story name. My naming convention. Need to stick around with that. It's actually something I got from Coding and Coffee. It was prepending your Atom variable names with ATM dash. It's actually been really nice. Alright, cool. So we'll do that. We'll give it a test story name. We will save the story. We will see that we got everything we need on the back end. Great. Alright. Cool. Just a quick trip to MongoDB. And we're in business. And let's remember how to connect. All right. All right. Imports. Nope. Already copied that. Import all that stuff. I think there's some other things we need. Monger. And is that it? Yep, that's all. Okay, cool. So let's save that. Load dependencies. Create our connection. It's no longer called February, but it is called... What's it called? I forget. Users. Okay. Yeah, I guess we call it stories. Saved stories. Stories? Yeah, just stories. Cool. Now we got a connection to the database. We have a database collection that we're writing to. And now we use Monger to save our JSON to the database. Let's see, do you know about Datomic, made by the guy who made Clojure? Yeah, I'm really curious about Datomic, actually. I was somewhat seriously considering using it for my first startup, which was something called PickStory. But I figured I wouldn't do it because I was like, basically brand new to Clojure at the time, brand new to Clojure script, never live streamed before in my life, never made a startup before in my life, so I figured I had a certain bandwidth for novelty, shall we say, and decided to go with MongoDB instead of Datomic. But now that I'm getting more comfortable, it would be really interesting to explore Datomic too, because concepts there are just wild. I watched a couple of really good talks on Datomic. Which was the good one? Intro to Datomic, the immutable stack, the design of Datomic, intro. Man, there's one in particular which is really nice. Is it this one? Might have been that one. Yeah, well. Copy that. Datomic. Intro to Datomic. Maybe we'll use it on future startups. Yeah, so anyway, there was the question of novelty, which was, it's, that's a thing kind of unto itself. But then I was also kind of unsure about the licensing costs. It was a little tricky to actually discover on Datomic's website. So yeah, if you've got a link to throw me in terms of how to actually get Datomic and get a license for it, I'd appreciate something. But yeah, a lot of what I found was about Datomic Cloud. I didn't really want a cloud solution. I just want normal self-hosted Datomic. And then yeah, the other thing was the licensing price. It's everything here is free open source software, but Datomic is a licensed closed source product. So yeah, I mean, if I could have Datomic and it wouldn't totally break my bank to have it, then yeah, that'd be amazing. But for now, I'll use Datomic's kind of weird cousin, I guess you could say, MongoDB. And yeah, that'll be fine. My data saving requirements are not super intense, so I think for the time being, I'm okay with sticking with MongoDB. I'd very much like to experiment with Datomic. MC writes. Oh, here's my... You can call MongoDB that, yeah. Came first. Or did it? Datomic might have come before MongoDB, actually. I'm not sure. I think all my database stuff is in my auth file, which I don't really want to show to anybody. So let me get my reference code here and then bring it back. ng insert monger mc find mc hammer insert and return. That's what I want. Insert and return. Little cleanup. Secrets. No share. Cool, here we go. All right. So there's the syntax for saving. Okay. And I also realized I need one more thing to send to the back end, and that is the name, username. Username. Call her Alice for now, story name. Cool. Alright, save story. Back in the back end. That looks like this. And now we have everything we need to save. Alright. Cool. So let's bring that down here. Rick. Okay. So let's username blocks. Hey, do I even need to worry about this stuff? Can I just like send this object straight into MongoDB? Let's story gets in rec body of the rec. Yeah, it might be good to like actually pull this stuff out of the request. Username, story name, blocks. No, gets in the request the body and the username. And I say that because, like, you know, anyone can send any kind of request to this thing, and, you know, if I get in a situation where someone's sending me stuff that I don't want to save in my database, then it might be good to have code which, like, explicitly finds something in the body to, like, pull out and save in the DB. So, yeah, I could send this body straight into the database, but I don't think I will. Story name blocks. Okay, cool. So let's just make sure we wrote all those correctly. Yep, Alice, test story name. Oh. Really? What? Ah, there we go. Okay. Evaluated the wrong form. Alright, cool, there it is. And now we'll say insert story. Story map. Don't think I need any of this. May not even need the future, but we'll leave it in there. Insert and return db stories. And we will insert story map. I think that's all we need, right? Insert story. Username, story name, blocks and blocks. It's not. We have now wrapped our code in the let, so it is out of scope. Yeah, I think another thing that I'm trying to get in my head is this, like putting a bang, like an exclamation point after the name of the function if it's effectful. So something that like updates state or writes something to a database, use exclamation point at the end of the function name for that. Random thought. So I get really excited when someone's into Ramda, so I want to share more Ramda stuff with my friend Dio. Let me see, Ramda. If you like coding videos, you like this. Yeah, it's kind of nice, right? Like, it kind of like matches like the rest of like the Clojure like standard library syntax too. Like you've got sets, or you've got like resets, or you've got like swap. And those are all like effectful functions that like, you know, mutate state or variables somewhere. So yeah, adopting that for your own functions kind of communicates to yourself and others what's up. Insert story. Cool. Yeah, I guess I don't need to send this back, do I? Or actually, hold on. What do I get back? Def story map, test map. I can use the return value of this to see if the write was successful. I get future, but if I evaluate what's inside the future, I get the ID back. Yes, I'll say like if at inserts story what's the matter now? Unable to resolve. Oh. Username. Okay, so. Maybe if I just do like that temp-rec thing, but I evaluate the let block, which I learned I could do the other day. Too few arguments to if. Okay, if the result of inserting the story is not nil, then we send a response back. Response, all good. Not good. Rec. And def rec, temp rec. Content length, nil. Alright, we've evaluate the whole light block, and what do we get? All good. Okay. Cool. So, probably got a few copies of whatever that was in our database, but that's okay. Response. I think there's also like a ring response. It's like a way to send like a failure response, ring util response, response. Maybe what I'm looking for is status. Not that any of this is super important. Response and status. Okay. Hi, hello. Status 500. Cool. All right. Status 500. Error. Save. Success. Maybe just status. Save success. Error. Couldn't save story. Okay. And now I think I have everything I need. Yeah, so let's try this from the front end. Let's edit some content. Let's add another image. How about this one? And then let's add some text. Did we do it? All right. So now, demo story 1. We'll save the story. What do we get in the network editor? XHR. Posts. Post to save story. 404 not found. Test story name Alice. Oh, you know what? Maybe I'm not actually calling this save story. Yeah. I didn't add it to my button. Save story save UI button. On click print hey. All right. On click will be save story. Save story. Let's get rid of all these. Click save story one more time. Hey, we got 200. We got 200 back, which I'm pretty sure means that we saved it. Users. Except I'm not seeing anything in there. Should have a database called stories with a collection called stories. Oh, wait, there it is. Yes. 5 documents. Hey, heyo. We totally did it. Demo story 1. Demo story. Yeah, that was it. Cool. All right. Yeah, it's all in there, right? Did we do it? We did do it with 2 pictures. Excellent. Okay, so we can do the first part of this, which is saving the story in the database. Make a story, give it a title, save that story. This is done, done, and done. Alright, cool. Thanks for the celebratory message. It's always nice. Cool, alright. So, yeah, we're at 3:45 and we're already to our reach goals. Alright. I think I want to try for this one. Access the public version of that story with a URL. Okay, so how are we going to do this? We got the story... We have the story associated with a user, and now we need a URL to access that story and render using the rendering logic. Okay. Yeah, so I guess, yeah. Let me draw this out. It'd be like /user / story name. Story name, demo story 1. And it goes into the DB. Search. Respond. Yeah, no, I think this is okay. Yeah, if we go to our notebook mode. Yeah, so we have to write a backend route for this, and the backend route is going to be what's the name for this? It's like this whole time we've been writing routes that hit like specific hard-coded. Oh geez, did I just have that up? I think I did. Yeah, it's probably okay. Routes that hit the specific route, so we have to go to literally like base URL / email reset sent wildcard. That's it. Wildcard placeholder. Yep. Yeah, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna define routes that take like a variable path route, so like /user / story name, and those are going to be search terms that we go into the database with. We're going to search for those stories using the aforementioned user and story name, and then we will respond with the correct page. So I've done that in like Express using like Node on the back end, but I've never done that in Clojure. Although I can only imagine the process is the same. What am I using? This is Composure. Yeah, Composure. So let's go to Composure docs. Looking forward to it because I want to see how it's done in Clojure. Oh, cool. Yeah. Well, we can learn together, man. There's like 100 routing libraries for Clojure, none of which seem to have a particularly high level of domination. Clojure backend router. I mean, experiences with Node.js Express as well. Yeah. Yeah, Express is one of those like kind of Clojure-ish like libraries, and by that I mean to say that it's been around forever and it hasn't had an update for like a long time. I don't even think it has an active maintainer. Fork the website on GitHub. Express.js. Let's see when the last commit on this was. 8 months ago? Okay, so they got some new examples. But yeah, man. The most recent update after that was 2 years ago. So, anyway. Yeah, a lot of hype. And churn in the JavaScript realm. But this is one of those like rare JavaScript libraries that like literally everyone uses. If you've got a node-based like backend server, I mean, yeah, man, this thing has like 73 million downloads a month, right? Yeah, I think the maintainer left because he got in some beef with the community or something, or he just wanted to like drop it and like not work on it anymore. But yeah, I mean, Express is Express. It's got a set of features. It's feature complete. People can use it. So yeah, I mean, like, how much do you need to? How much work is there left to do on it? Period. Okay, routes in detail. Or maybe getting started. Let's start with the start. Then there's some alternative library with it was like a fork of Express, but I don't think people use that so much. And I forget what the name was. User : ID defined by clout. Yeah, so this looks exactly like what Express gives you. Yeah, so I guess we want to like have like a get, you're just S for short, S for story, username, story name, fetch story, get story, fetch story, sure. Okay, back to the handlers we go, fetch story. Defin fetch story takes requests. Def temp rec. Load that into the REPL and let's give it a shot. Alright. Get rid of this nasty nonsense. Alright. App. Request method get URI. Yeah, so this would be like slash s slash alice slash I think I want to lowercase titles and add dashes for the URLs themselves. Flash nil. Yeah, so did that work? What is temprec? Temprec is that. Okay, cool. So I can get the request and I can have the username and the story name show up in my param, so that's exactly what I want. Alright. Now we need a get operation. Get operation on this. So that's going to be like MC slash find Mongodocs read doc guides querying find documents copy example code. Alright, so another let block, username, get rec, get in rec, params, username, story name, get in the request, params, story name, no dash. Alright. Let's copy that in for reference real quick. Make this temp. Well, trying to refine my like REPL technique here. So yeah, let's do that thing we did before. Def rec temp rec. Alright, there we go. Now we see that the username is Alice. Story name is demo story 1. Alright. So we say MC find db collection is stories, I think we called it. Yeah. Stories. What's that look like? Username and story dash name. Story name. I think we're going to have a story URL field on this eventually. Yeah, so let's go back. Story name, story URL. So I think I want to differentiate between like what they call the story versus the URL that the story becomes. Story URL. Okay. So find username, story URL. Okay. So this will not return anything yet. But I bet I could insert a fake document. If I've still got that request from before. Yeah, here we go. Okay. So let's just insert a fake document in the REPL real quick, and then we can use that to test our query on. So def temp thingy. Names are hard. I don't think I even need something that's like super true to life in terms of the blocks that we're using. Blocks, fake block. Alright, so the story name is going to be that. The story URL is going to be like test story name. Alright. So we're going to do an MC insert and return on that. DB stories. Go save the temp thingy. Is now inserted. Now we can find it. Username Alice. Well, let's not do that in our official handler. Let's do it outside. Username Alice. Story URL. Test story name. Okay, we got a cursor back. Did it give us anything from DB objects? Monger conversion. Man, I tell you what, if I know one thing about the programming world is, you know, if you have a library that you're trying to promote, and I'm going to try to take this philosophy to the startups I'm building too, but anyway, if you have something that someone can copy and paste, like a super bare bones, like simple thing where, you know, don't even think, just copy and paste this and you're good to go, that will put you like head and shoulders above so many people. Everyone skims documentation. Everyone's got a very specific thing they're trying to achieve, and no one really wants to put all that much effort into understanding your API, with a rare exception for libraries that people are like using on a daily basis. Make it turnkey. Yep, absolutely, man. Turn the key and go. Don't make them think. No single method found for the function. What does true do? So I'm still getting the cursor. I don't know if that's because I didn't write the query right, or if I'm not getting back what I think I'm getting back. Alright, so username matches, story URL matches. We pass them in as keys, we pass those in as strings. So I think I've written my query correctly. But how do I get that back? The DB in the collection. Alright. Database name, stories, collection names, stories. That's all good. From DB object. Converts the given DB object instance to a piece of closure data. Input keyword eyes. Queries for objects in this collection. This function returns the DB cursor, which allows you to iterate over DB objects. If you want to manipulate closure sequence maps, use find maps. Cool. Yeah, I think that's what I want. Find maps from DB object. Do I need that? I don't think I do. Yeah, what does this give you? This gives you a list of objects, right? So if I just say like first on that, then I should just get my object back. All right, cool. Yep, that's what we want. So give me the first one according to that query. Username, DB stories. There's the query. Give me the first one back. And do I need this in like a future? I think I probably do, right? Like defin fetch story doc query. So I'm just gonna wrap this up in a little function real quick. I'm going to in turn wrap that in a future because this is an asynchronous operation. I'm gonna say story doc. It's gonna be fetch story doc, and the query is going to be this. Once we have that, we can say when at story doc. Yeah, what do we get back if I query for something that doesn't exist? At fetch story doc don't exist. Do I get nil back? I get nil. Okay. When not nil. When the story doc is not nil. Or no, this should be if the story doc is not nil. If there is something from that username under that URL, we send a response with that story doc. Otherwise, we send a status 500 Error, no story found. Okay, I think that's it, right? Yeah. So let's leave that in there for now. Load that into the REPL. Head back to our test area. Let's see if we can call that, get it back. Wrong number of arguments passed to persistent array map. Line 77. Fetch story dog takes a query. This is a query. Ah, right. Outside. Dereference outside, not inside. Wait. No, this is a value now. Yeah, so we do it like that. We don't wrap it in parens. Great. Yes. Okay, there it is. But we got the future back. Oh. Ah, we set the future. We did not send the dereferenced future. So now we should just get the plain old object. Cannot JSON encode object of. Ah, okay, so we should strip the ID off of it first. Yeah, so let's refactor this into a threading macro real quick. And we're gonna say first. Nice, yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Okay, so first we're going to find it, then we're going to get the first thing, and then we're going to say dissociate the ID from it. Yeah. Dissociate that. There we go. Ah. And dissociate takes the map first. Dissociate from the map, that field. Get each of that, is that what we just threaded it? Yeah. Actually, one thing I really like about Ramda that, to my knowledge, data last closure doesn't really do. Data last Ramda. It's called the data last style. Data. Yeah, so anyway, every single function in Ramda will actually take its data last, so yeah, it's not really something that like Clojure does. Like, I mean, some of those functions take data last, but some of them like take data first. So for instance, like the function first would be considered a data last function because it takes like the thing it operates on as its last argument, which it's not like a great example because it only like ever takes one argument, but anyway, just for the sake of making a point, you can call first a data last function, but something like dissociate is data first. So you can see here from the doc that it takes the map and then it takes the key that you wish to dissociate from that map. So yeah, coming from the Ramda background and like, you know, really enjoying that like data last style, I find just like the straight threading operators like kind of tricky to use because, you know, if you're having a mix of functions and those functions like expect their data in different positions, it's kind of tough to use like just the thread first operator or just the thread last operator, because something in the middle might not like, you know, line up with the position that the threading operators pass those things into. So yeah, I really like as thread because, you know, you can assign that to a variable and then not only do you not need to worry anymore where the data actually goes, but you get a nice like visual representation of like, where it's going to end up, like inside that function. So you don't need to like keep that whole like curried partial application thing in your mind. You can just kind of say like, okay, here's the eventual value we're going to get. It goes there. So that lets you control where it goes in the form. Yep, exactly. It takes the expression that you're threading first and then assigns that to a variable name, which I just always call $sign. You could do something that was a little more semantic if you wanted to, but yep, the only way it differs from thread first or thread last is that you have to like pass it explicitly into the functions as opposed to implicitly with the usual threading macro. So that's a really nice thing that I find myself using more. Yeah, where were we? We were going to put this in the links. Ramda JS data last philosophy. Cool. Okay, so we can send it in the JSON. Great. And now we just need the front end piece of that. The front end piece of that. Okay. Back to the front end we go. I bet we can finish this. Alright, so we got our routes. Now we just need a route for a story. So here we say /s/ username / story URL. And that's going to give us a new component. Name story render. The view is going to be story renderer. Okay. It's a component that doesn't exist yet. Story renderer.cljs. Okay, so I've got basically everything I would need for our story renderer component. And for now, it'll just be that, so we stop getting our compilation errors. App pages, story renderer, refer story renderer. Compiling successful. Yes, what is this? /s/alice/ demo story 1. We get a div that says cool. Alright, so we can render that in the front end. Now we write a fetch. On load of that component. Alright. So, move fast to break stuff, get stuff done. Don't worry about the copied code. Yeah, all we need is render templates. Yeah, we need render templates and basically only the stuff that render templates depends on, but not rendered from an atom. Atom blocks. Well, yeah, so this is kind of the tricky thing with using React with like front-end routing versus some kind of like server rendered thing. It's like I've got this route. we're using this little hash sign, so you know, the front end browser isn't like, you know, sending a bunch of requests to the back end that like don't exist. So when this mounts, when this component mounts, it's going to send a GET request to the back end at this route, and then yeah, I guess it's going to save the results in here. So yeah, we need that atom, we need button. We don't need this. We can get rid of this right away. Don't need this either. Block item, template map. Yeah, so that's really all we need in that component. Don't even really need the fragment, but it's not hurting to keep it, so let's just keep it. Okay. Yeah, so let's just like comment these out for the time being. And then once we know that button and new layout block. Yeah, and then once we know that their absence isn't gonna like totally kill the app, we can delete them outright. Okay. Don't need edit UI, don't need the selector, don't need the inputs, don't need the style edits, don't need the photo selector, just need the main content. This is probably going to be the name of the story itself. Probably need the user info, that's where we're going to get our username from. We do need render templates, we don't need render style edits. We don't need render content edits, don't need anything to delete, add text or add photos. We don't need add layout block. We don't need the state slug builder, we don't need any of that. I think we do need render text. Render text. Oh, well. Don't even need that in the story builder. That's a function we aren't even using. Okay, we don't need our new save story. We don't need the toasts. We don't need image uploading. We don't need most of these atoms. Text input open. We do need this. Layout blocks. Select layout block. What is this? Oh. Don't need that at all. Atom layouts. Let's double check that's not being used. Okay. Story name. Image file, image URL. Template map. We need the renderers, but not the selectors. Probably don't need this. Cool. Alright. So here's our new story renderer. And we save it, and I bet it breaks the page completely. Oh, here we go. We do need the right namespace though. Okay, we need reagents. Need Ajax. Don't need the modal, don't need the toast. Don't need the text input or the style edit or the photo browser. Do need the layout blocks, but only the renderers. Invalid refer. Okay, so that's just the name of the component. Main content, main, yeah, here we go. Build completed. Oh, wow. I was expecting that to be completely broken. That's not, that's great. Nothing like trying to drink from an empty cup instinctively. That back kind of hurts. I'm gonna stand up. Okay, here we go. Right, so we need a function which on component load is going to fetch our stuff. What do I call it here? Stretch. Yep. Good idea to stretch. Oh, man. Ugh. I'm always kind of thinking in the back of my head while I'm doing this about all those Twitch streamers who are sitting down for like 15 hours straight and they get a blood clot and stand up and die. So I don't want that to happen to me. Even though I'm only ever streaming for like a few hours at a time. It's something that is top of mind, shall we say. Gets. Do I have a gets function anywhere here? Don't think I do. Method Ajax refer post refer gets. Game so hard you die from a blood clot. Yeah, man, it's sad. It's a lot of these streamers, man. I mean, you know, it's great from viewer engagement perspective, if you want to call it that, to stream for a really long time. Yeah, man, your body is it's built to move. And if it doesn't move, then you get all kinds of problems. Let's see. Man. It's nice streaming too, but it's a very cognitively demanding process too. So you want to stay like really productive, and you want to like make progress and like demonstrate things, and you're also kind of like narrating out loud at the same time and talking to people in the chat and everything. But yeah, it takes a little more brain power than just sitting down and coding quietly with yourself. But the benefit I do get from it is I get to like have people along for the ride. Like having people in the chat is actually really nice, because I'm kind of a social animal when you get down to it. And yeah, actually people have like helped me debug and stuff. People who know Clojure a little better than I do will come in and say like, oh hey, use this function, use that function. Or if you were gonna like write it in a more idiomatic way, you'd write it this way. So that's also like a really nice benefit to it too. But it is doubtless, yeah, takes energy. Anyway, stop complaining about my thing and just do something, huh? Post. So we're not going to ever post anything. We just need to get something. I shouldn't say complain. I actually do genuinely enjoy it very much. URL. Local API. Okay. I'll give you my energy. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Okay, string local URL /s/ I'm having the idea to just like build this on the back end. Yeah, I got a front end app, so I'm gonna leave it as front end. What I could do is I could just like do Hiccup directly on the back end and build the story from Hiccup. And that'd be a lot nicer, because then I don't even have to worry about it in the app. It's just like static content. I wonder how hard that would actually be. Because I've got Hiccup on the back end too. Render templates. I'm not really doing anything like too React-y here. Yeah, you know what? Let's make this a static. Let's make this a static page. This is only ever going to be static content, right? Yeah, yeah, no, why not? That'll, that'll make this a lot simpler too, because then I won't need to, like mount the component and then, like, do the get and then fetch the content and then bring the content back to the front end and then, like, run it through the React machine and render all the stuff and, you know, put the stuff on the page and that's done. Yeah, I can just build it statically on the back end and then, you know, it goes out to the end user as like a fully complete page right off the bat. So, yeah, there's basically no cost to that. That's, you know, just moving the code from like one repo to the other basically. Looking for something like Hiccup? Yeah, Hiccup's nice. Hiccup's very nice. Really nice that you can use it on the front end and the back end, and you know, it's something that just like, you know, it's a closure function. It's not like JSX in JavaScript land where it's this like kind of funny syntax that you need to pass through Babel in order to you know, render the HTML on the other end. I mean, it's just you know, stuff that evaluates to a function. So it's really nice. Yeah, so I've got like a list of static pages on the back end. Let's go there. Back end. Babel. If I never have to touch Babel again, I'm gonna be a happy man. Yeah, so here's my static pages. This is like all my forgot password, email resent stuff. I think for now what I'm going to say is like story renderer, that's CLJ. Yeah, we're just going to put this all here. And never mind with the white space. Well, actually I will need a couple things. I'll need the this OK function. This response function, OK HTML. Yeah, all that stuff plus create page. Now I'll need to require the Hiccup libraries. I'll need Hiccup page, but I won't need Hiccup form. The hours of my life I've spent debugging Babel and Webpack and Babel together with Webpack. It's time I'm never going to get back, man. It's not the way to spend your life. We've got such better tools available to us. And all you need to pay is just a little bit of time and learning. Okay. So let's go back here. Let's copy that in. Fetch photos, not gonna need this anymore. Main content. Let's copy that in. Render templates. Copy that in. And all the Atom stuff I'm not even going to need because this is just going to come straight from the database. Template map. We do need these like layout blocks too. And you know, these used to be separate repos. Now they're just like folders inside source. So like I could copy these straight over to backend, or I could app is probably on the class path, right? So I could probably like require this from the backend. Oh, you know what? It's a CLJS file, so I bet it's not gonna play nice with it's like closure specific stuff. once I'm done with this. Alright. New folder, story rendering. New file, templates. Templates, or layout blocks, that's what I called it. Nope. Not CLJS, but CLJ. Yeah, you know, I don't know if it would work either. It's all the same stuff. I guess if you're not using any closure script specific code within your CLJS file, like maybe closure doesn't care about it. I don't know. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Okay, style editor, selector, we don't need. Okay. Don't need that. Build class strings, nope. Renderer, yes. Renderer, yes. Selector, no. Selector, no. Renderer, yes. Selector, no. I should have 3 renderers. I do. Oh, needed that. Build class strings. Style map. Where did that come from? Ah, that comes from the config. Okay, cool. Selector no. Selector no. Selector no. Renderer yes. Selector no. Okay. Render contents. Get everything I need. Okay. Let's see here. Does WP mean WordPress? No, it means window pane. So that's like the layout block I've been using most during the development. So that's just this like kind of four pane like square thing that you're seeing in front of you, and that's a reference to like the content layout. So SBS side by side, and single row would be a single row. Yeah, no WordPress to speak of. That's okay. Okay, so what am I doing here? Response, okay, HTML, create page, title and content. I think the first thing I need to do is require all this stuff into that file. Okay, so require pick a page and backend story rendering, layout blocks. This is something that drives me crazy about Clojure. These underscore versus dash things. Underscores for file names, dashes for namespaces. Trips me up constantly. Can never remember that. Getting better, but man, mind-boggling for a new learner of the language. Backend story rendering layout blocks. Backend story rendering. Story renderer. Okay. Yeah, man, that will be hours of debugging to figure out why you can't require your stupid module. It's because, yeah, file names need underscores, namespaces need dashes. Always, always. Oh, God, I almost did it myself twice. Story underscore rendering. Okay. Underscores for both file names and folders. Yeah, cool. So now I got these. I've been working pretty much exclusively with window pane. let's see what we got. Okay, so we need a text map, an image map, a style map, and a row index. We don't use the row index at all, evidently, so let's get rid of that. Text match, image map, style map. Okay, so now... Oh, been doing this in the wrong place. Backend, story builder. Render map dash map. Okay, templates map. Okay. So I map indexed over the blocks. I grab each item from that block and I pass it individually to the block. Okay. Alright, back end. Oh, where did my, there we go, story rendering. Story renderer. Define. Define render story. Alright, let's put this down here as a reference. Let's think. Okay, so we're gonna get like a map. Yeah, we're gonna get that thing from the database, right? So handlers. Yeah, so fetch story doc is gonna call this function that we're writing right now. So let's like comment out all this broken code. Just see if we can print for now. Let's see if we can load that into the REPL successfully. We can. Okay, so story renderer has a module called render story. We're going to require that in our handlers. Okay. Okay, backend dot story rendering, story renderer, refer, render story. Okay, so instead of sending that back directly in our response like we were before, we're going to say that the response is the result of calling that function, passing the story doc to the function. Okay. Let's load that all into the REPL, and now we're good. Okay, so I should be able to go back to core CLJ, call that same function, and then it should just print. And I think that printed from our new rendering function, but let's find out. And I got stuff. Load this in, back to core, call the function. Okay, so our renderer is calling that. That's good. Now we go back to story renderer and we grab the blocks. Okay. Story doc. Yes, we'll do a let block. Say let's. Yeah, like a few things, right? Like we need the text, we need the images, we need the style. Style, text, images. Okay. Style, text, images. That's going to be gets in story doc blocks. Oh, yeah, we need to map. We need to map over each one of these docs because if you'll notice, this is a vector, and then what we're looking at is the config object for a given story. Okay. So, yeah, I guess, yeah, maybe this function maps over the vector and then returns the, maps over, well, you know what, I've written this code already, let's just go and find it. Save and close, even though we're probably deleting that file later. Man, must have been working all day, I can barely think. Yeah, I think our best bet is go back to Story Builder and just copy this function in. Okay, so right off the bat we've got some React specific stuff, which is the fragment. Map indexed, do, okay, so we can get rid of this. We can get rid of that. Add in blocks. Okay, so this is going to be that blocks key from our database response. Oh, this just looks like hill, doesn't it? Block item from the template map. Okay, so we need the template map. And I thought that was here. It's still in React land. Template map. There we go. Story renderer. Alright, so here's a reference for name of the block to the component to render. Help it learn, love, hell stand. Well, I don't get that, but that's okay. Blocks, into the vector goes this stuff. Hell stands for help it to learn, love. Help EHT learn, love. Yeah, cool. Okay, so the text map, the image map, the style map, and the row index. Don't think I need the row index, but we'll keep it in there. Okay, so we're going to map over the blocks, give back this HTML. So now, let's do that. Okay, blocks, get from the story doc the blocks. Okay. Now we call render templates, passing the blocks to it. But that function needs to come first. Yeah, so def test res be this. can I call render story with the test res? Map literal must contain an equal number of forms. Maybe I didn't copy that right. I thought I did. Even number of forms. Test story name. Oh, right. Yeah, it's not. Excellent catch, my man. That is not a string, is it? Neither of these. So maybe I'll just do my deft demo res. Let's do this. Back to the core. Call this function. Demo res should be the res, I hope. Yep, cool. Okay. So now that's something we can actually pass to render templates. So render story with the demo response. Null pointer exception at backend. Line 43 is null. .43 is null. What does that mean, I wonder? 42 is null. I wonder why that's wrapped in extra braces. Still null. 42. Block. Item. This is all loaded in. This is all loaded in. Story renderer. Call the function is null. 42 is null. Block of item, def, temp item, item. Alright, what is temp item? Username Alice. Oh, hello. I'm passing the wrong thing. What? Blocks, demo res. Oh, I got the wrong syntax. Blocks. There we go. Demo res. Still a null pointer exception, but I'm pretty sure. Our temp item will now at least be the right thing, but it's not. What was the blocks from the demo res? Okay, so we wrote that right. Render template from the blocks. 43 is null. Why am I still getting username Alice? What am I even calling this function with? Call the function with the demo res. Temp blocks, once I pass it in, is the whole thing. Why am I passing the whole thing? Render templates from the docs, from the blocks. Temp blocks. Render templates from the blocks. I don't quite know what I'm doing, but I do know how to hack it. I also find the part in the do expression confusing. That's kind of me learning how to do reagent. Story doc, blocks from the demo res. Maybe it was something like that. Alright, render the templates from the hack blocks. Okay. 44. Okay, so what was the item? Okay. Block is supposed to be window pane. Right. So get the block from temp item. That gives you window pane, yes. I think I'm missing like a... Man, how does this work on... How does this work on the front end even? Alright. Hey, whoa, hello. Okay, so I get that back. Alright, so I got back this. I don't need this. I don't need to put it into a fragment because now we're just dealing in straight hiccup. Not hiccup by way of reagent. Now I get that into do div keyword. Do I need this? Can I get away with that? Hack blocks. Alright, so now it's a list of divs with a class of template display and a function called window pane content renderer, which takes that as an argument. Okay, so the text map of the temp item is that, it's that, and it's that. So I think it's okay. Layout blocks, just see if there's like anything here. So we're passing the text map, we're passing the image map, we're passing the style map. We have these functions which render our stuff, and we have things that render the class strings. So I think we can actually, I think this actually works. Okay, story renderer. Okay, so it's going to render templates, but then we have to put it into a page. So create page, test title, call all that from fetch story. I don't want to jinx it, but I think that's it. It's a huge, massive mess. It's not a valid element name. Okay, so now, I think I know what I did. Layout renderer. It's not a valid element name. Yeah, I took away some, I think I took away function. Yes, this is supposed to evaluate to a renderer. Block item. Into the div goes this function. Yeah, you know, I wonder, I'm gonna need something like that eventually, but I wonder if I can just say window pane content renderer, to which I pass those arguments. Start to zone out? Yeah, me too, man. It's okay, this is it's tricky stuff. It's not a valid element name. You know what, I bet I have to, I bet I'm trying to call, yeah, I need to call this as a function. I can't try to call it as a component. Wrap you up. I bet if I did that. Holy crap, I finished my workday and you're still here. I left my window muted. Oh, yep. Cool, man. Well, we're still working. If you'd like to join me, I'm probably going to stop soon. But, yeah, I just need to figure out if I can... I don't know how to create a... Don't know how to create an error message that mere mortals could understand. Don't know how to create an iSeek from closure core map indexed. Yeah, we're getting close to the thing. Could I call this function and get that stuff back? Yeah. So what's the deal? You don't know... What was the error? Don't know how to create iSeek from closure core map indexed. Seek? Maybe if I get rid of the seek. Into an array goes map indexed. Do I even need to put it into an array? No, I probably don't, right? I can probably just map over it. Because again, we're in closure land. We're in hiccup land. We're not React land anymore. Core. Call that. Oh, shit. Okay, so we returned a function, but not the body. Okay. Map indexed. Do Getting rid of our redundant do. Oop, oop, don't delete the whole thing. Yeah, thanks for thanks for updating it, man. I appreciate you letting Kevin know what's up. Alice demo story 1. What? No story found. Status 500. Could have sworn I had one. Oh, that means that, right. Okay. Yeah, that's right, this whole thing. Alright, back to the handlers, where I've got the ability to add documents. Fetch story doc, fetch story, save story. Yep, here we go. Insert story with the story map. Alright, so we need a story called that. Need to be wrapped in a map. Maybe it'd be better to query for this. MC find maps, DB stories, cool, so we get that. Now I just need to update this with can we do like a find and update? Update. Oh, we're so close. All guides, updating documents. Updating a single document. DB stories. Find a story with the name of test story name. Give a story URL. Test story URL. Close that map. Update that doc. See if it updated. I'll refresh. Single document by passing the multi-option with the value of false. Okay, so maybe I needed that after all. Multi-false. Update stories. Yeah, maybe if I chose a better one. Yeah, there's only one demo story one. Handlers. All right, refresh. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, I should have done set. Okay, I've got one. One last test story I can do this on. Handlers. Yeah, I should have said like set story URL to be test story URL. Yeah, okay. Alright, so which one am I looking at? It's the one with the story name of test story name. Back to the handlers. Multi-true in case there's documents in there with the same name. Okay. Alright, updated 2, but as long as the one we care about has a URL, we're good. Test story name. There's the story URL. Okay, cool. Okay, back to core. Test story name, I think it was. Is that right? Test story URL. Test story URL. Still giving us a map indexed function instead of a document. So I think like Mongo. Use stories. db.stories.remove. Document by ID Mongodb. DB collection remove. Yes, I got the rights. I need to wrap it in that wacko function. db.stories.remove ID object ID okay, delete one. If we delete one, we can delete two. Okay, if we can delete one, we can delete three. If we delete four. Okay, and then we delete this last one, and then we don't have to worry about multiple stories having the same URL. Which I think is what's tripping us up. Okay. It's called test story URL. And it still gives us the map. Okay. Still gives us the map. So, handlers, what's up? Render story. Fetch story doc. Render story. Oh man. So many MongoDB docs. Okay. Story renderer. Render story from the story doc. Oh, right. We're not rendering for the database, we're rendering the hack blocks. Okay. So that's probably not going to give us a different result, but it's worth it to check. Okay. Render templates. We're getting back a function called map indexed and not the body. So my first idea is to get rid of that inline def. Don't know if that makes a difference. Well, I thought this was going to be easier. Def what blocks. Call this one more time. What is what? Yeah, I'm saying the right stuff. Let's see. There's a paren issue where it's not wrapped around blocks, but I'm shooting in the wind. Oh, I mean, you're probably right, man. Map indexed. The function. Oh, for heaven's sake. I've got this in the wrong spot. You were totally right. Yes, it's returning the function because I haven't called the function with the array. Dude, we got it. Dude, I'm pretty sure I can go to the browser now. API. Alice test story URL. Hey! Look at that shit. Okay, it's not styled right because we haven't sent the CSS along, but yeah, that's something we can do. Index CSS. Yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna copy this in. New file index. No, I can just get this from, yeah, I can put this in, okay, HTML, create language, yeah. Link, yeah, let's just copy this from here, right? We need Tailwind and we need index CSS. Okay, we'll make those. href rel rel href link. Oh, not a semicolon but a colon. Get rid of this empty one. Oh, my dudes, I think we got it. No such namespace page. What? What? WP content renderer. Yes, it does. Spectre head. We ain't getting there. Man, you sure, dude? Require all that stuff doesn't give me an error. Okay. We're not getting our links yet, but maybe that's because the core module doesn't know about our changes. Oh, come on, it's so close. It's so close. Come on, son. The title is the title. The link has an href of whatever the URL is /tailwind. Doesn't respond, man. Ah, man, we got everything. We got everything but the CSS. Why isn't it coming back in the head? You know what, man? I'm just gonna like stop the server, start the server. Hope this fixes whatever weird thing I got going on. Okay, did it start? Okay, app. Connect to the REPL. 7071. The headers, the body, HTML. Title. Oh, yeah. No. Wait. Okay, so something about the way I used link is not right. Link. You know what? I probably have to pass this as an object. Okay, so now, oh, I think I know what I did. I think it's missing like the main class maybe. Yeah, it's missing some stuff. Display grid. I need some parent classes. I guarantee it. Almost, man. It's basically working. I'm just missing some markup and missing some classes, which I somewhat foolishly deleted in my quest to get this thing to work. I don't think I'm missing it here. I haven't touched layout blocks all that much, so we're missing it here under templates. Okay, first candidate is this div with the class of template display, but we do have that. Okay, next candidate is what it goes into, which is a div with the class of main. Yeah. Okay, so if I go into create page, apply conj body content. Maybe if I go to where create page is called, I could say main class, or div with the class of main, div class main. Okay, that was part of it. template display. What am I missing now? Main. I'm missing a main element. Okay, section, template grid, div main. Okay. So janky. Okay, slow. Inside the class of main goes a section with a class of template grid. Inside the div with a class of main goes a section with a class of template grid. And that all goes inside a main with a class of BG green 3. Hey, look at that. Cool, man. Background green 300. I don't know why Tailwind isn't working. But yeah, man, this is like basically, I think I'm gonna stop here for the day. This is good. What you're not seeing is the background color, and what you're not seeing is the borders on these template renderers. I don't know why that's not happening, but yeah, what you're seeing is the content laid out into the grid, placed on the page. Yeah, where's the border? That must be something that comes along from something else. But yeah, man, there's our window pane, there's our content, there's our styles, and there is our static story requested from the database according to username and the URL associated with the story they saved. So that is super cool. And that means accepting a couple of style things, which I'm going to work on tomorrow, that our reach goal of accessing a public version of a story is done. Yeah, man. Lots of progress, can save, can visit story, simpler work with hookup. Yeah, man. Yeah, we got a lot done, man. We not only like made the trip to the database to save it, but we also did the return trip of actually requesting it from a custom URL. So that's huge. Yeah, that's real cool. There's a lot of stuff in the middle to fix, but yeah, the broad strokes of like, can you do this stuff, period, we're there, man. So anyway, next time we'll be reloading a saved story for further editing in the UI. Refining the look of this thing to make it look a little nicer. Maybe taking a title, putting it up here. But yeah, man, we're making moves, we're making progress. So anyway, if you made it for that whole stream, hats off to you. That was a marathon. We got kind of lost for a while, but yeah. Anyway, feeling good. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. I'll be back here 2 o'clock Eastern tomorrow, and we'll see you then. Yep, next time, CRUD stuff, exactly. So, catch you then, guys. Thank you.